Emily, what was the toughest thing about turning your own story into fiction?
It had been 5 years since the events of the film, and I think that helps tremendously because you're far enough away that you can kind of look at it and still kind of feel it, but not so much that it's overwhelming you. Because I think if you see someone create a piece of art while they're still in the throes of going through something, you can always kind of tell because it feels like you're looking, it feels too vulnerable for you to be watching, which can be beautiful, but we didn't want this to feel like an overly intense kind of movie that you feel in danger while you're watching. We wanted you to kind of see that we've gotten a little bit of emotional distance. And so I think, to me, that's where this movie came from, is us having enough emotional distance, but not so much that it felt like the distant past.
I didn't heckle you. I just woo-hooed you. It was supportive.
Okay, that's a common misconception. But yelling anything at a comedian is considered heckling. Heckling doesn't have to be negative.
So if I yelled out, like, "You're amazing in bed," that'd be a heckle?
Yeah, it would be an accurate heckle.
Cool.
Oh. Bye.
Oh. Now you can...
I'm going.
You scared my friend off now.
You can't be precious with your own history, because it's if you saw a movie what actually happened to my husband and I, it would be a terrible movie and you would not enjoy it. And so taking this actual real life event that touched you and was very important to you and creating a story from it is always a challenge. And also realizing that just because something was important to you personally, that doesn't mean it belongs in the movie, and that doesn't mean that it's going to translate. So what we would try to do was, if there was a scene that was incredibly important to us, it happened like 3 or 4 times, like this moment was like, oh, it meant everything to us. And we would either write it and it didn't work. One of them we filmed, and it just, as we were filming it, we were like, this is so stupid. This will never be in this movie. Finding a lateral move, like what were the emotions? Why was this so important? What were we feeling? What was happening? And then can we craft a scene that accomplishes that? Because this exact moment of you coming into my hospital room and watching Groundhog Day with me on a laptop is not really giving us the awe that we need on screen, and finding other ways to kind of show that. So that, I think that was the most challenging thing, was understanding that your story, just because it's your story, is not gospel.
Did you ever think of doing your film as a drama, a straight drama, not a comedy?
We talked about it. We actually didn't think that our movie was a rom-com until the marketing people started talking to us. And they were like, oh, okay. And we started seeing cuts of trailers and we were like, oh, I guess this is a rom-com. I always thought of it as like a funny family drama. That's kind of how I thought of it. And we had the same thing of like, if we go into this, like this is a comedy, now comedy means 4 or 5 big, huge set piece action scenes. Like, comedy means a very specific thing now, unfortunately. Drama also means a specific thing where maybe you can't make a 9/11 joke. So I think for us, we tried not to think about that. But in my head, it was always like a very funny family, movie about families. And then when we saw all the marketing, we were like, oh, rom-com, okay.
I want to ask each of you, for one piece of advice that you would give to a starting writer.
I know a lot of writers who are just trying to write because they're like, oh, this would be a cool thing to write. But I think the best work comes from when you are really grappling with something that you are personally kind of, like a thing you've been thinking about, something ethically or morally that you've been kind of debating in your own head or kind of debating about your own family or about your own place in the world. I think that's where the best work comes from, not just like, oh, this would be a cool thing. So I think if it can speak to something that you're personally going through, not literally, but emotionally, I think that always makes a better piece of work than this might be cool. And also just get the thing done. Like, I think that's, so many people are just like, oh, I keep starting and I don't know how to, like, just get it done. And then you can go back and work on it, but just
get to the end.
Get to the end and then keep working on it. And don't get yourself bogged down and like I know people that have like a perfect 15 pages of something and never get anywhere else.
Okay, Coppola said it to Lucas, or Lucas said to Coppola.
I think.
That, you have to go through a full pass and then go through a segment. And that's the sculpture idea. It's like if you focus on the hand of David, you just get a beautiful, perfect hand, and the rest of the body will be, distorted. But you slowly dig away at the clay until the form emerges.
Ready?
Okay, quiet on set.
And I look down the lens.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Darren Aronofsky.
I'm Aaron Sorkin.
Emma Stone.
Allison Janney.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching The Hollywood Reporter.
Thanks for watching The Hollywood Reporter.
The Hollywood Reporter on YouTube.